Welcome to the second demo, Workspot. Last one I created a pool of desktops and I said I'd create an end user experience. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's head over to the Workspot client here. Double click on that and it's just going to open up. I'm using a physical device which has got this red swirly pattern behind. Workspot client is asking me for the passcode. At this point, I could be being challenged with MFA. So Azure Active Directory, Duo, Okta, Ping. There are others as well. Lots of multi-factor authenticator solutions out there these days. Anyway, they could be integrated here and asking the user to put in the MFA credentials. Now I don't have MFA set on, so I'm just going to use my passcode. We can also have some intelligence built in here as well, so there's no MFA when you're on the corporate network, but as soon as you're working from home or off the corporate network, then you get MFA challenged. So just sign in. This is the Workspot client. It's a fully encrypted container. Okay, so if you can't put in the MFA or the passcode, you don't get in. Okay, so there was a little pause before these icons were shown, really briefly, a little spinning icon there. That would have been the Workspot client just checking in with Azure Active Directory, even not Azure Active Directory, checking to make sure I'm still employed at Workspot. Now, if I wasn't, these icons wouldn't have appeared. I'd still be able to get into the Workspot client, but I wouldn't see any icons. And I've got 6 here. 3 are published applications, Notepad, Chrome, web app there. 2 are desktops, both in North Europe. One's got a GPU on it, and one's a standard one, and a shared desktop as well. Got an on-off button here as well, so I can reboot the machine without going into it. Or if the machine is powered off, I have my GPU machine powered off normally. I can just actually flick it on by hitting the power on button. So I'm going to go straight over to my desktop. This is exactly how users would access it. If I click on here, you'll notice it says connecting SE North Europe. That's the name of the desktop pool. So there it's coming through. You'll notice that I'm not being asked for any credentials. That's because I've got single sign-on set on. Now I could be MFA challenged at this point, or I could have the requirement to put in my credentials, my name and my password, etc. I don't have that set. That's because, well, I'm just a little bit lazy and I'm in and out of this machine all the time, so I don't need to do that. But we don't have to have those connected. This machine is in Dublin. I'm physically near Southampton. So yeah, this machine, I'm getting a 20 milliseconds latency. So if I come down here and actually ask it to bring up Notepad, and I type, I'm typing, and there is no latency. You can see as I was typing the words and sounds all matching, there's absolutely no latency whatsoever. I can minimize this desktop. I can come back to my cloud desktop. I can disconnect. And as we never turn the machine off, we never hibernate it, we never sleep it or anything like that. If I come back to it, it connects straight through and goes exactly where I left it off. Okay, so let's see, coming back in. That's me. There you go. It comes exactly back into where I left it off. I don't want to keep that. Okay. So not a bad latency at all. If you have a look at the machine type, let's have a look at the OS. It's a genuine Windows 10 1903, normally a little bit further behind than that. I surprised myself. Task Manager, let's have a look at the size of the machine. I think I've got the Workspot Power Machine, which is 4 CPUs and 16 gigabytes of RAM. So that's pretty good for me to be doing my coding on. And as you can see here, I've got my my PowerShell IC up and running. I've got the GitHub where I go and get my APIs pulled down, as my good colleague Joe Semorak has put those on. But this is a standard machine, and I could play um, uh, YouTube videos if I wanted to. Pause that. I've got things like PowerPoint saved on it, etc. So yeah, I mean, it's just a genuine Windows 10 machine that I can access anytime. And this is exactly what the users would do. All they need to do is access the Workspot client, put in the PIN code or get MFA challenged, and then they're into their desktop. And it looks like it's waiting to do some, yeah, it needs a restart. So I'll do that another day. Shortly after this demo, actually, I minimize that. Excuse me. So here's the 6 icons. If we go over to, oops, wrong button. If we go over to the desktops that we've got, actually, we have those all up and running. There you go, they're all domain joined, etc. If I want to push one of these desktops out, brand spanking new desktop out to a user, me, in this case, all I need to do is I just add that pool to the users and they will come straight through to those desktops. So let's add me. Now I don't have to do this. This is manual. It can be done automatically. All you need to do is um, create an AD group, put users in the AD group, and then associate that AD group with the Workspot pool, and any of those users will go straight through. So let's put it in here. If I put in I think demo by John, if I then save this now, if I minimize here, you'll see in the next 10 seconds or so, I get a notification that I've got a brand spanking new desktop. Come through. Here we go. Just a reminder, 6 icons here. When I click OK, you'll see a brand new desktop appear. Boom, there it is. Demo by John. So if I now click on this icon here, it's going to take me straight through to a brand spanking new Windows 10 desktop. This is a 2 CPU, 7 gigs of RAM machine. This is my demo environment, so we don't actually sell those anymore. We sell the 2 CPUs with 8 gigs of RAM, a whole gig of RAM extra. That's because Azure's got machines underneath the covers which have changed slightly as well. We just match those. So it's signing me in. It's the first time this machine's been signed in. So of course it's got the profile to be built, etc. So if I minimize that, if I come back to control, now of course the users would never access control. Okay, the end users would never see control. If I come back to the pool, you can see I've got the first machine up there. Now of course I've got another 4 here, which people could access if they wanted. But at the moment I'm just pushing this out. So busy preparing itself, busy signing in. Let's wait for that to come along. It always takes longer than you think. Oh, that's interesting. It seems to be thinking I've got a lot of latencies there. We'll see that change once it's actually on the actual desktop. That quickly flip over. Let's give it time. Always seem to go slower when you're trying to do something. But this is the first time it's been signed into, so it's bound to be working hard. There you go, boom. So there you go. Oh, we've got some installs to do. It's the very first time it's been hit, so it's going to do something. There you go, 20 seconds millisecond, 20 milliseconds latency. Right now, the machine's probably really busy because it's the first time it's been signed in. So it's busy building itself. Let's minimize that bit. And let's see what we've got. Yep, we've got Windows 10 1903. The build, the template was built on the 24th of October, so it's probably why there's need some patches to be done first thing down. And you can have as many templates as you like in Workspot to build these desktops from. Brand new desktop, so let's make sure we see what we've got. Oh, sounds a bit busy. Okay, Cortana. OneDrive's doing its installation. Okay, so on the template, I've got OneDrive installed. Looks like Windows installed is kicking off as well. So there's a little bit of work there. But it's 2 CPU with 7 gigs of RAM, just like I said it was. Okay, and that's an SSD disk as well. Okay, so yeah, it's a brand spanking new desktop. First time it's ever been installed, ever been accessed. And I can start accessing things like Outlook, which I've got installed on this. As nobody's ever accessed it before, it's going to want me to sign in. Okay, so I'm not going to use that. Use my proper email address, connect up at this point. And it's this is I've got my MFA turned off on the end. Sorry, I've got MFA turned on, but I'm no longer using the Authenticator app. So, first time I'm signed in here, brand new machine, it's going to want me to actually prove that I'm really here. And because it knew it was going to ring me, it's going to actually no point using the Authenticator app if I wanted to prove this.
Press the pound key to finish your verification.
There you go, pound key pressed.
Your sign-in was successfully verified.
There you go, successfully verified. You can see straight in. I can do yes at this point, and it's just going to go through its normal process of bringing down Outlook, putting all the emails on it, etc. All set, done, etc. So just click on through some of these bits and pieces if I wanted to. So I don't want to do that. Done. So there you go, busily doing behind the scenes. So yeah, this is the first time users access this machine. So this is the experience they would necessarily get. Of course, all the applications they need are already installed. So I can come over here and look for something like Word, for instance. Word. There you go. I've got Word installed. I've also got Excel installed, etc. So all the bits and pieces that are already, and they, of course, they're all populating now. Let's actually come out of these things. Don't want to do that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that as well. So yeah, a genuine Windows 10 desktop delivered from Workspot. Really simple, really quick, very easy. I can do that anywhere in the world. There's the machines all there. Now, this is just a quick demo, right? So I don't really need that desktop, so I want to get rid of it. So let's just get rid of that by deleting them. There you go. Delete all those, demo by John, and they've gone. So if I come back to my client here, within 10 seconds, there you go, quicker than that, you'll see new configurations available. That's because I'm deleting that desktop right now. I don't need it, and I can do OK, and it's gone. So I'll keep my obviously my coding machine is still merrily there, but yeah, they're all that's how your users would access the desktop. They would never need to see control. That's just a bit of admin I was bringing in there, but all they need is the Workspot client and the desktop pushed out to them and the credentials, and they've got it. So I'm going to end this recording now, and hopefully you'll come and join me for the next one. I think I'll do another demo, and I think I'll do it on some of the pool creation. Speak to you soon. Cheers. Bye.